it bigger for you guys. I don't know how to pronounce it. Monomyth by Heart U. This minted about a week or two ago. I saw it mint. Been slowly bleeding ever since. Undead Ape Club. I actually have whitelist for this. It's minting now, but I'm happy I'm not missing.
Oh no,
0.04.
That's the goddamn worst. Every time you have whitelist, I always get so excited, and then every single time I get fucked. I don't get excited for the first time in months, dude. It's been probably like 6 months.
That's such a great win, though. I don't get excited anymore because honestly, there's days where I'm having five or 10 between 5 and 10 whitelists, and I end up not minting any of them because they all get stuck. Even this, even if it's a free mint or not, they get stuck at 500 or 1,000, and they just bleed. And once you had a 0.04 ETH floor, it's really difficult to get through that because you got a 2x to get to 0.08, which will probably require about 500 transactions, half of the supply. Then you got a 2x again to get to 1.6. I mean, it's just so hard to get to anything decent once you pass a certain level of floor price. And unfortunately, it does seem, I don't know anything about this project except I got whitelist. It does seem that Undead APR Club is past that point of no return. So that is
Doesn't it suck, dude? They do all this work and it's all dependent on how you do on one morning, which could be affected by somebody else. Like another project could just just shit on the market the same morning as your project an hour before, and now your mint is ruined. Like, doesn't that just suck, dude? Like that's why I keep telling projects, I'm like, I don't know why you guys keep leading up to a big mint day. Not in this, like in this kind of market, it's just not, I feel like you just don't need to do it like that. You don't have this unnecessary pressure when there's nothing to gain in a bear market like this, as far as like having one big mint day. I just don't think it makes sense for a lot of projects.
Yeah. I think the bottom line is that you really have to have a solid plan for mint. What I mean is that, you got to have guys on your team ready to sweep the floor. If it drops past a certain level, you got to try keep it 2x above mint price until the end of mint. And if you're able to do that, then you will mint out even in this market. I mean, the interesting thing is like Valhalla, that was a half an ETH mint.
Yeah, dude.
And 10,000 NFTs. I mean, to think that they pulled it off is quite incredible. They had no sort of rush in the minting. There was like 24 hours in between the different stages that they had. So they took their time with it. They definitely had guys sweeping the floor to keep it above mint price. So if you really know what you're doing and you plan it out properly, I think it can be done. But once you pass a certain point, you're gone. You're finished.
Yeah, I agree.
You may as well.
That kind of price point, bro. It's like 0.004 is like $3. So it's just like at that point you're buying fucking Pokemon cards at the grocery store. Like you're not even buying NFTs in people's eyes. At least like in the narrative online. If you're buying NFTs for that kind of price point, more than likely they're never coming back. Like I'm trying to think what the lowest price a project could drop to and still recover from.
I think 0.025.
Think so?
Yeah, I think past there it just keeps bleeding.
Yeah,
and the problem is the secondary, which a lot of people do rely on. So the fees that they get as a project for secondary sales are so minimal at that level. Even if you're selling 1,000 at 0.01, what is that? It's like 10 ETH, and then let's say you make 5%. So you walk away with half an ETH. So let's say you sell 1,000 NFTs in a month, which not many projects are doing. I mean, you saw the number of unique NFTs that changed hands in the beginning of the show. It's not a lot. Yeah. So even if you're selling 1,000 NFTs a month, which is quite decent in this market, you're walking away with half an ETH. Now you've got a whole team that you've got to pay salaries of. You want to give value to the community, and especially because a lot of these are free mints. So they haven't made anything off the mint. And now they're not making anything off the secondary. If it drops below that price, you're screwed. There's no way to financially do it unless you venture fund backed and you're there for the long run, in which case it all is irrelevant, and you're just building a community. And that's why we have seen the meta of venture fund projects in the last couple of months, because it does give a level of security. You assume that the venture backers have met the team. So you assume that the team's not anonymous. You assume that the guys who have invested, the venture guys, have seen the financials or the financial projections, the marketing plan, and so on and so forth. So it gives it a little bit more, validity, but still that doesn't guarantee you anything, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. Definitely agree there.
100%. Alrighty. Let's get into